Overhaul of fuel valves on 26, 35 and 42 MC engines. See Instruction Book Volume 2, Procedure number 909. Before any dismantling, drain the fuel oil from the fuel oil high pressure pipes. Using a spanner, loosen the coupling pieces fitted on each end of the high pressure pipe. Remove the high pressure pipe. Take care not to damage the high pressure pipe seatings. Once the fuel oil high pressure pipe has been removed, insert plastic plugs, both to prevent damage and to prevent dirt from entering the orifices. Unscrew the fixing nuts and remove the spacers. Remove the fuel valve from the cylinder cover using the lifting tool if the valve sticks. Thoroughly clean the fuel valve bore in the cylinder cover. Clean off any carbon deposits in the fuel valve bore with a carbon cutter. If marks are found on the seating in the bore, recondition the seating with a seating face cutter. Grind the seating with a grinding mandrel and a grinding compound, for example carborundum number 200. After milling and grinding, thoroughly clean the bore and seating and check again that there are no signs of damage on the seating. After reconditioning the seating in the bore and thoroughly cleaning both bore and seating, fit new O-rings on a new or overhaul fuel valve which has just been pressure tested and lubricate with molybdenum disulfide. Carefully mount the valve in the cylinder cover. Mount the spacers and nuts. Adjust the torque spanner to the value indicated in procedure number 901. Tighten the nuts using the torque spanner. Reconnect the return oil pipe to the fuel valve. Check that there are no marks on the seating surfaces of the fuel oil high pressure pipe. If necessary, recondition the seatings as described in procedure number 909. For the fuel oil high pressure pipes, which are provided with a steel armoured protective hose, also check the adjustment of the thrust bushing. See procedure number 909. Replace the O-rings and coat with molybdenum disulfide. Mount the fuel oil high pressure pipe. Adjust the torque spanner to the value indicated in procedure number 901. Tighten the coupling pieces using the torque spanner. Turn on the fuel oil supply. Remove the sealing rings and the plastic plugs. Set up the fuel valve in a bench vise provided with soft jaws. When overhauling fuel valves, handle all parts with the utmost care and keep them completely clean. Start disassembling the fuel valve by screwing off the two inside hexagon screws. Remove the valve head from the valve housing. Remove the non-return valve and spindle guide from the valve housing. Remove the sealing rings from the non-return valve and the valve head. Disassemble the non-return valve using the special tool. Mount the extractor on the non-return valve, taking care not to tighten the screw against the slide inside the non-return valve. Remove the thrust piece. Clean all parts in gas oil and blow clean with compressed air. Carefully clean and examine the parts and, if necessary, grind the seating surfaces with a grinding mandrel and carborundum number 500. Use the milling tool if more serious damage has occurred on the seating surface for the high pressure pipe in the valve head. Use ample amounts of cutting emulsion. The diameter of the seating surface must not exceed the value stated in procedure number 909 in volume 2 of the instruction book. After grinding and milling, clean the parts in gas oil and blow clean with compressed air. Use the special drills to clean off any carbon deposits in the central bore of the fuel valve nozzle or in the spray holes. Test the spray holes with a test pin. If the test pin can be inserted into just one of the holes, or if the holes have become oval, the fuel nozzle must be discarded. Examine all seating surfaces of the non-return valve and spindle guide through a magnifying glass with an 8 to 10 times magnification. If there are pressing in marks or the like on the seats, mount a new non-return valve or a new spindle guide. Lapping of the internal seatings is not acceptable. Defective parts, with the exception of the two springs, cannot be replaced individually. Remove any deposits on the sliding surfaces with a grade 360 emery cloth and oil. Lubricate all movable parts with molybdenum disulfide. Loosely assemble the parts of the non-return valve and then press them firmly together by gently tapping them with a nylon hammer. Mount a new sealing ring on the non-return valve. Mount the special tool and assemble the non-return valve and spindle guide. Mount the fuel nozzle in the valve housing, making sure that it engages correctly with the guide pin. Mount the non-return valve and spindle guide assembly in the valve housing. Mount new sealing rings in the valve head. Mount the valve head, ensuring that the guide pin between the valve housing and valve head is correctly engaged so that it will prevent the parts from turning in relation to each other. Adjust the torque spanner to the value indicated in procedure 909 in volume 2 of the instruction book. Tighten the screws using the torque spanner. Overhauled fuel valves or fuel valves taken from stock must be function tested before they are mounted in the cylinder cover. Position the fuel valve in the test rig. Adjust the torque spanner to the value indicated in procedure number 901. Tighten the nuts using the torque spanner. Mount the valve with actuator handle. Adjust the torque spanner to the value indicated in procedure number 901. Tighten the valve with actuator handle using the torque spanner. Connect the pressure testing pump and the return oil pipe to the fuel valve. For guidance on how to operate the pressure testing pump, refer to the supplier's special instruction. Slowly fill the valve by pumping at low pressure until oil, without air bubbles, flows from the return oil pipe. Raise the pressure until it is above the opening pressure. Flush the valve for about 5 seconds. Slowly increase the pressure until it is about 50 bar below the specified opening pressure. See Instruction Book Volume 2, Procedure number 909. There will always be a certain amount of oil flowing from the return oil pipe when the fuel valve is full of oil and pressurized. Oil must not seep from the fuel valve nozzle holes until reaching a pressure of 50 bar below the specified opening pressure. If oil does seep from the fuel valve nozzles, see Procedure number 909. Lapping of the internal seatings is not acceptable. Pump 5 to 10 strokes to fully open the valve and to blow out any dirt. Then relieve the pressure. Slowly increase the pressure until oil is emitted from all the atomizer holes. Read the actual opening pressure on the pressure gauge marked working pressure. If the actual opening pressure differs from the specified opening pressure, remove discs or insert additional discs under any existing discs, or replace the spring. The sum of the pressure markings on the extra discs must not exceed 150 bar. The fuel valve must be retested after any adjustment. If the quick pressure drop cannot be registered, the slide is sticking, or the hole is blocked, disassemble and examine the parts, replace if necessary. Slowly fill the valve by pumping at low pressure until oil, without air bubbles, flows from the return oil pipe. Remove the return oil pipe and block the outlet hole with a gasket and a plug screw. Increase the pressure to about 100 bar and stop the pump. The pressure should now remain at 100 bar. If oil leaks between the valve head and the valve housing, the O-ring seal on the valve head is defective and must be replaced. If oil leaks from around the fuel valve nozzle or nozzle guide pin, the O-ring seal on the non-return valve is defective and must be replaced. After the fuel valve has passed all the tests, it can be mounted in the cylinder cover.